to close the deal, to move the needle forward, sometimes you just have to pick up the phone. I'm going to say it again. To close the deal or move the needle forward, sometimes you just have to pick up the phone. That's what this episode is all about. And a recent experience that I had that confirmed and reminded me of that.
You know when someone is selling from stage and at the end the audience gets up and rushes to the back of the room to buy? That's a table rush. My name is Mischa Z, and the Table Rush Talk Show is all about bringing you the tools, strategies, and tactics that you can use to grow your audience and inspire them to buy.
Sometimes to close the deal, you just have to pick up the phone. So I was an old telemarketer back in the day. I literally have probably made, no, not probably, I actually have made, I would say, 1 million telemarketing phone calls. I used to hand dial the phones. Back in the day, let's see, in the mid to late 90s, yes, that's when it was, 97, 98, 99, I started working in the financial services industry as a commodities broker, a retail commodities broker, and someone handed me a script and said, start dialing, here's your phone numbers. It's incredible how much you can do with the phone. And fast forward to today, what's so intriguing about internet marketing and funnels and all these things are you can automate so much of the process that a lot of deals, you can close with your funnels. You can close without even having to talk to somebody. And that thanks to the internet, it's amazing now, but that wasn't always the case. I would find leads, source leads, telemarket to those leads. And I even my first CRM, my customer relationship management system was one of those, what do you call them, recipe boxes. So you have a recipe box, and I would buy recipe cards. I would have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then I would just move people from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 to week 4 as I called them and followed up with them. Because fortune's in the follow-up and much of sales. Hence, that's why email systems, email, my brain's a little fuzzy right now. What do we call them? Email systems that will send out email sequences to do the following up for you are so powerful. But back in the day, I had my recipe box, a plastic recipe box. Google plastic recipe box, and you can see what it is. So I just moved the recipe cards, but I was very successful with it. And then at one point I upgraded to gold mine. You'd go to the software store and you'd buy, what was it, can't even remember the software stores where you would literally walk into the store and buy a box that had a disc in it. This was the late 90s, so it was probably a floppy disk. I'm definitely dating myself for anybody who doesn't know what a floppy disk is. Nonetheless, over the years I built telemarketing teams. I would send out flyer campaigns to get the phone to ring, and then we'd sync data so when the phone rang we knew who it was from. And there's super sophisticated systems that do all of this stuff now. They were definitely getting more sophisticated throughout the 2000s, 2010s, and There's skip tracing now, Google skip tracing. It's pretty cool how you can find people's info for your telemarketing campaigns. But one of the alluring things, again, about online marketing and funnels and email sequences and things like that is, what's the dream? To sell enough stuff without ever having to pick up the phone. That's my dream anyway. And or it's a dream. How about that? To close the deal. I don't have to get on the phone. And or to get clarity. I'll even say to get clarity. So much stuff is done on Slack channels and texting and DMs and emails. Well, email is super old school at this point. We've got your Slack channels, all this stuff, and man, many things get lost in translation, or things stall, or I can have a hard time conveying the exact question that I'm trying to get answered, or I'm trying to push people forward to see things my way. That's a big part of what we do as salespeople, as marketers, as entrepreneurs. And I will say one other thing that I'm definitely realizing as of late, that using the internet to get the phone to ring and have the person mostly pre-sold by the time the phone call and or Zoom call or web call is scheduled. Boy, it's so powerful. So if I'm selling something that's $10,000, $20,000, whatever it is, or more, some of these things are much, much more. How powerful is that? So my initial dream was, I'll never have to do phone work again, and I'm really good at it. But I realize now that, hey, wait a minute, getting the phone to ring with high quality leads to buy your higher end products, that's amazing. That's pretty exciting. So I'm trying to get into that mindset. Anyhow, you can let that float around in the background. But I had this experience recently with this customer who, we worked out a deal where I was going to get them some user-generated content, get them some testimonials, and boy, it's been such a great learning process for me. They have a lower-end product. It's like, super low on the value ladder. So they're selling lots of it, but their customer isn't as engaged with the company. There's not a super strong relationship built with a company, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like saying, or what I'm saying is, this company is selling a $99 product. They're selling a lot of it. They're selling it off of a VSL, a video sales letter. It's a very powerful video sales letter, and they're closing, thousands of sales. But it's click off an ad into the video sales letter to a purchase, and then there's a course associated with it and some videos with the course, but there's no customer company interaction with live people, with coaching, with anything like that. So that relationship with the customer is not super strong. They haven't bought multiple products. So I say that is the deal I had worked out was not so great. In the moment, it sounded amazing, but as I'm getting testimonials for companies and learning the realities of doing that work, it became very clear very quick that via their existing systems, I was going to have to invite 100 people. Of the 100 people that I would invite to give a testimonial, maybe 10 would say, yes, this is a video testimonial. They would be open to an interview to talk about their success and experiences with this company. And bear with me as I gather my thoughts. I have very little post-production editing, so any pauses, you get to pause with me. But I'm sure there's value here if you are selling a whole bunch of entry-level, low on the value ladder products. Perhaps you can, learn some things from this. But the reality of it is, you send out 100 invites, 10 say yes, maybe 1 or 2 schedule the Zoom call, and then you got to get that person on the phone. They got to show up to the Zoom call, and then of course they've got to be a good interview. So it turns out what I thought it was going to be easy, right? I was like, heck yeah, I'll get all these testimonials for you. This is a great deal for everybody. I'm going to get more testimonials than you know how to handle. But I was working from the frame of high ticket. Like these customers have spent $25,000 or more. They're engaged with the company. There's a solid relationship. The customers, coaches, founders, whatever principals, they know them by name. There's like a strong relationship. There's been powerful transformations, stuff like this, right? And so, heck yeah, those people would be super excited to jump on a call and do a little interview, and perhaps even be in some of the company marketing campaigns. So anyhow, I was needing to renegotiate or talk about the realities of the project. And I'm not sure if renegotiate's the right word, but it was like, hey, for this project to be successful, all parties need to be happy. And they were totally down. It was all good. There was no tactics here. I was just like, hey, here's the reality. And they're like, oh yeah, we see that. But initially I was trying to communicate with everybody on Slack and, through DMs and all these channels. And finally, one day, I was like, I'm just gonna pick up the phone and talk to the person I need to talk to, and we're gonna sort this out and move forward, and it's gonna be a win-win for everybody. Because I was tired of all this tech that was not working efficiently. So on a whim, I pick up the phone. I was actually walking. I was walking around a coffee shop. I perhaps was even like going to or from a doctor's appointment of all things. But I had paper with me and I had a pen. So I pick up the phone. The person answered. I mean, they answered. And they were ready to talk. And we sorted it all out. And it was a win, win, win for everybody. So sometimes you just got to pick up the phone and close that deal, or get the answer, or sort it out. We save so much time and stress by doing it that way, finally. And so that's my encouragement to you. Sometimes you just got to take the risk and pick up the phone. And I also wanted to say another learning I had from this is I stumbled across, people had been telling me, you got to check out VideoAsk, and there's all these amazingly powerful things that you can do with VideoAsk. So I have started building out VideoAsk sequences that are awesome and that you can use to get user-generated content, that you can use to get surveys, that you can use in conjunction with your surveys, Like, it is so powerful. But if you want to talk any more about any of this stuff or learn more about it, go to testimonialguy.com. Go to testimonialguy.com, and I can help you, or you can perhaps find what you need there. There you go. Pick up the phone and close the deal sometimes. Have a good day out there.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.